There's good news and there's bad news. CB's dead. Stuff on PMR. Bristol repeaters loud and clear and busy. Need a switcher box so I can run the silver of both these radios. Getting some updates on the iPhone because I just use that for internet out here. Fucking kids. But I've fixed my power supply. I normally run off batteries, and I tried using my power supply the other day and it just came on for a split second and went off before I plugged anything in. So I've managed to get the power supply to work. If you can see that red light, I haven't put the cover on it just yet. I'll do that later. So the plus side, the power supply works, so I don't have to keep charging up batteries all the time. Obviously the life cycle of the batteries. So I don't have to fork out for a new power supply now, but I have to fork out for a new tarp. My neighbour was moving the other day and he borrowed a flatbed pickup tipper truck off someone at work, I think. So he's borrowed it for a few days to save spending money on a van, but the weather was shit and he's worried about all his stuff getting wet. So I lent him my nice big, I think it was 9 foot by 12 foot tarp, the camo one I use for overnighting. And I said, well, keep it for the next couple of days while you're moving, and he'll drop it off as soon as he's finished, like with the last load or whatever. And he's not come back. It's now Friday, so he's moving Friday, Saturday and Sunday. And yeah, he's kept a nice big length of rope, 2 of those metal hooks I've got, 2 bungees and a tarp. So I've got my old tarp I used to use before I bought the new one, the little pound shop one. So I'm gutted because the normal green one I've got is a good tarp. It's just big enough for an A-frame, but I don't know, I just like the big one. I think it's a 6 foot by 4 foot I've got, the standard one. So I've got to squeeze into the little tarp from now on. Well, I have to get a new one now. But the plus side, I don't have to buy a new power supply. It's only like 3 amps I think it is. So ideally I could do with a new one because I need at least 10 amps for that to work. That normally works fine off batteries. It comes on, but if I key up, the radio goes a bit dim. So it's obviously not pushing out enough amps. So we leave that off for the time being. Or I can run that separately from a battery, but it's all plugged in there. So I don't really want to have extra things running everywhere. 2 speakers, I think that one's made by Nokia, and that's just a standard one for like $5 you get off eBay. It's good though, they both click. You can't hear it but you can feel it, so you can click them into the angle you want. Do need a better light, but the lamps are above. I just need a better light for video, really. Oh well, just general little video here. Nothing special. Just saying, woohoo! I fixed my power supply. What was wrong with it is that thing on the side. I can't remember what they're called. I think it's busted because if I tap it, it works. So I've tapped it and it's came on, but if I move it, it goes straight off. But it's proper old. I haven't used it in about 5 or 6 years, and I've had it about 15 years. The LED is blue tacked in. The switch broke. The power switch, so I just block connected the wire that turns it on and off. But it's still going strong. If this was a car, it would definitely fail the MOT. There we go. It's a bit dark, but we're working. Good afternoon, good evening YouTube. It's Wow Sly here. Just about to upload some video clips. You've seen the part 1, me in the shack. Good news and bad news. Good news is I managed to get my power supply working. Bad news is the people that moved out down the road kept my tarp, so no more wild camping at the moment. Now, the next bit of this video you're about to watch, I must insist you do not copy me. You do not do as I do. You do not try and do what I've done in this video. I'm about to take apart some power supplies and make a power supply for my shack to power my CB. I do not recommend you try and do this unless you are you have good electronic background, voltmeters, basic knowledge of what you're doing. If you blow any fuses in your house, set fire to your house, electrocute yourself, burn yourself, cause any damage or injury to your person or belongings in any way, I don't hold me responsibility. I'm strongly advising you not to do this. But on the other hand, if you're like me, then go for it. Now, I hope you enjoy the rest of the video. Please be safe. Don't ask me questions about colours of wires. Most of the power supplies are different colours. Sometimes there's a brown, sometimes there's a white. You haven't got a clue what I'm talking about at the moment, but you will in a few seconds. So please enjoy the rest of this video and be safe. Right, YouTube, we're on the floor doing some serious electrical work, and we've got a little trick for you, a little hack for any of you CBers or amateur radio people. Power supplies. Most CBs run off 5 amps. Recommended is sort of a good 10 amps. 10 amp power supply is what you need. These are PC power supplies. As you're aware, they go in the PC and they power your PC. I've got several of these. Some work, some don't. I've just got a box full. These two, I've got switches. That one and that one. And this one didn't work, which is good. Always read the label. As you know, they're 12 volt output. Some of the stuff in your PC is like 5 volt, some of it's 12 volt. Lots of different wires, lots of different things. Some goes to hard drive, some goes to fans. Fans don't need many amps, so the smaller amps run off fans, and the higher ampage ones run the stuff that needs the power, like I don't know, like your DVD ROM and so on. Anyway, right, we'll get to it. You can use these to power your CB. I'm going to use mine to power my CB and my linear. I need 10 amps for my linear, and I need at least 5 amps to run, well, 3 amps to run my CB. If I run out of 3 amps, I key up, it goes a bit dim. So 5 to 7 amps is a good ampage to run a CB. I've just got a standard 40 watt channel, so I'm fine with about 5 amps. This power supply on 12 volt is 15 amp. I don't really want to put 15 amp through. If I'm running the linear and the CB at the same time, should be okay. But yeah, 15 amp output on that. The 3 volts is 20 amp. If I want to test anything that's 6 volts, there is a 5 volt output, which is obviously the red wire. The yellow's 12 volts, and the orange is 3 volts. But the 3 volts is at 20 amps. The 5 volt red is at 25 amp. So that's a lot of ampage that'll blow things. So, and the yellow, obviously 12 volts, 15 amps. So, luckily this power supply doesn't work. Tested it out last night when I tried this. Didn't work. Some I've got blown, some aren't. This has probably been in the shed for like 2 years. In the garage for a year, and before that it was in a box for about 6 years. I've got several of these and a couple of boxes full of old computer bits and pieces. Kept them for a reason, but never got around to testing them and sorting them out, as you do. Well, it was black, thick, absolutely covered in crap inside, hoovered it all out. It's not worth even trying it, really. Didn't work, just makes a squeaky noise when I turned it on. So luckily we've got this one here, which is extremely clean, not a mark on it. Saying that, a tiny bit of fluff in there, bit of dirt on the fan, so it has been used, but that's reasonably clean compared to the one that doesn't work. It looked like it had been sat in a bucket of moss. Right, so this is what we do. You've got all your wires there. I haven't done this one, but I've done this one yesterday. Get them all together. Get all your reds, all your blacks, all your oranges together. That way you get the most ampage coming through all the wires, then ampage trying to go through a thin wire. It's the amps you need, not always the volts. Like if you put a 12 volt power supply on something and that still doesn't work because there's not enough ampage, you can only get so many amps through one of these wires, but you get more amps through all the wires. So again, take it apart, get all the untangle it, as it were. I get reds, all the yellows, and all the oranges. I've got them in groups of 4 there, and then a jumper at the end. If I should really make that thicker, but I get more ampage through 4 of them than I will 1. So don't be tempted to cut them all off and leave 1. Get them all together, make them shorter. And I put on this one a cigarette lighter adapter. Of course, done all the work, tested it, didn't work. So I tested this one tonight before doing the work. The important thing you need to do on the big block is a green. You need to jump the green cable, as I have there, to any black. So green into any black, and that will confuse the power supply and let you think you've turned it on. So I'm just going to put that into... this is fiddly and hard to do while videoing. This is just a 12 volt LED light. I've just put it in the I think it was 3 volt and it didn't light up. This is really bad. I don't advise doing it, but some people do. So the yellow's 12 volts, 10 amp, and then all the blacks are all the same, just ground. The jumper will let the power pack think it's been switched on by the button on the computer through to the motherboard, and the rest of the wires I'm going to cut off, and I will just connect the cigarette. Well, I'll cut all that off like I did the other one and just connect the 12 volt cigarette lighter adapter straight to the yellow and black so I can use it to power the CBs in the shack. Simple blue neon, 12 volts, won't keep waffling on. We'll just turn it on. 3, 2, 1, go, here we go. Fan spinning, lights on, so we have a 12 volt live, not to mention all the other ones that are live. And don't forget the capacitors in this thing do well to charge. Don't look directly over them. I have had these blow in my face in the past, and it was like having a shotgun shell go off in your face. So yeah, only please like go over the top of it if you're wearing glasses. Turn the power off. Leave them for a good 5-10 minutes before you start playing with them, because like the old tube TVs, you might still get a shock. And if at all possible, turn it back on. If at all possible, actually I'm going to keep that blue lit on and put it in there because it looks nice all lit up. Try and find one with a switch on it. You can add your switch yourself, but if you've got one already on there, it saves you a lot of time. So there we go. I've got I've got 15 amps. I think it was. Can't remember now. Yep, I've now got a 10 amp. Yeah, I've now got a 10 amp. So I have to read that. 10 amp 12 volt power supply for my CB. And it peaks at 14 amp. So the most I'll have go for the CB is I'll do 14 amps when it starts. That'll be fine. I've got a 10 amp inline fuse. Shouldn't really blow unless I put a bit more through. But yeah, please be careful if you start getting some of these with high ampage. You will blow your radios. But exactly where I've plugged in the neon light, I'm going to be plugging in the radio. So we'll put another video up soon when I've done this. I'm not going to be doing it tonight, it's getting on too late and I can't be bothered because I spent an hour last night sorting these wires out on this one for it not to work. So probably over the weekend for a little project I will tidy that up, probably drill a hole in the top of here and try and fit a 12 volt power supply in there or some sort of terminals. Right, there we go. Any questions, please ask. I've only just found this out myself. I knew you could do it over the years, never got around to actually finding out how to do it. So a few nights ago I found it out. There's other videos on YouTube that might be quite helpful. all power supplies are different. Sometimes there's browns on the old ones, sometimes there's whites. I don't think I've actually got a white on this one. No, I've got a grey. People have said jump the grey and the black. I think it was black and no, orange and grey. I haven't jumped that because I don't know if it works or not. All I know is the white one on this is 240 volts live, but the white one on this comes off here, being an older power supply, and there's no white on this one. Right, I best not waffle on too much. That's a quick little video just to let you know that you can convert these. If you've got a newer one, it's the black and green, jump it, turns it live. Remember, the 12 volts is the yellow one, that's the one you want. Read the side to make sure you haven't got too many amps coming out. And then you can power your radios in this shack or test out car stereos, amps, or whatever else you've got that's 12 volts. Just keep an eye on the ampage or you'll go blowing everything. Right, we're out in the shack, cut all the wires down, and I've taped the individual colours together. There was an orange on its own. Taped that up, taped up the purple, taped up the grey. There's a blue that's taped up on its own. I've taped up all the orange together, all the blacks together, and all the reds. There's 2 lots of blacks, so I've taped up one lot of black, and the other lot are in the block connector with the negative for the LED. All the yellows are in the block connector with the positive for the blue LED, the neon, and at the other end of the block connector, that will stop it from all getting pulled out because it's a big one. Cigarette lighter adapter. So it's going to screw the top on now and try it out. There we go, all done, nice and tidy. All that's hanging out the back is just the cigarette lighter adapter. All other wires are taped up inside. There's no chance that can be pulled out and the wires can be pulled out because the block connector is too big. There are different ways of doing it. That's the way I've done mine. And it took me about half hour to do this in total. It's plugged in. There's the radios. And let's see, actually, we'll turn off the light first on the phone. There we go, nice and dark now. And let's turn it on and see. Ooh, feel cold air coming out. Lights up, lights coming through the little holes. Could do with some more lights in there. But here we go. That's the air intake. That'll be at the back, out of sight, and the front. You can see it's all lit up and working. So I'm just going to take out the old one that was bodged up. That little thing there on the side was broken. You've got to tap it to make it work, but I've had that quite a few years, so that can now be scrapped. I might keep the cable off it and the plug, and the rest can be chucked. There's a box of other stuff, computer related. Right, unfortunately, well, I normally run off batteries. I still have to put a cigarette lighter cigarette lighter adapter on there, a male to plug it into my female. Oh, that's a nice cool breeze that is. Hopefully it won't get hot, because sometimes it gets hot in here, and I could do with the obviously cool air. Oh, I've got that massive fan there. Right, so I can't plug everything in at the moment until I get. So I've got another one there, but I've lost part of it. But I've got another one on my desk in the house. Excuse me for videoing while working. Is that going to reach? So that's going to reach. Turn this off. That's now switched off. Plug in the CB. CB's plugged in. It's such a mess out here. Stuff everywhere, I tell you. Can't get the stuff. Right, CB's plugged in. The other radio and the linear are not plugged in. I've only got one socket at the moment. Turn it on. Fans going, lights going. And there's the radio. And the problem I had on this in the past was it went dim if I didn't have a good power supply. That old one I had was 3 amp, and when I keyed up it went dim.
Hertz. Good evening. The time is 2100.
Ooh, hello GB3GS. Right. And hopefully this will not go dim. Fantastic. It's dimming slightly, but not much. That used to dim a hell of a lot. Right, I'm going to quickly wire up that so I can use all 3 things at once, because I want to see if it will run the linear and the CB. As you can see, the CB's dead. Alright, very quickly, I was just about to start recording and someone started calling out on the Coast Guard channel. Oh, shit, where is it? That one? Didn't see if it was UK Coast Guard or HM Coast Guard. But someone's just called out on the Coast Guard the emergency frequency. But I didn't catch the screen and see if it was Her Majesty's Coast Guard or just the UK Coast Guard. Someone just called out for Coast Guard. So possibly a ship in distress. Best thing to do is put the radio on scan, because I can't flick between the 2 channels because they're so far apart on the program bit. I might reprogram that and put them 2 closer together. Right, so I've just put on a mail to the triple power outlet socket thing there. I've got a 5.7 USB as well. It's good because I've got a load of USB lights, as you've seen on my other videos. Radio works, but no antenna in there at the moment. The antenna's plugged into this. This is only 10 watts. I don't need hundreds and hundreds of watts. That seems fine. Still got cold air coming out, still got the blue light. That in time will be sat there. Say hello to the car battery. Nice big Bosch battery. You normally get them in a shack. One of the cells has gone, so it won't start a car fully charged. It drops down to like 11 point something volts from 14 like instantly. So one of the cells are fucked on there, but it runs radios all right. Just won't start a car. So we've got the CB on 29. Sounds pretty clear. And it was dimming slightly. Right, Mr. 10 amp, I think it might be 14 amp power supply. Still making the radio dim a lot. A lot actually, quite a bit. Crikey. The output on there was supposed to be 10 amp on peak at 14. And I know the LED is not draining that much power, but the radio is still dimming. I don't want to do it too much, because it's quite a sensitive power supply. It might just pop if I'm draining too much power. But as you can see there, if I turn the linear off, the light's not really dimming that much. Oh wow, GB3AA's just kicked in. I've never heard that. That's slightly out my range. Oh well, it's not all a waste of time in a shack. But yeah, the when I key up, we don't like PMR channel 8 when I key up. We'll turn that off. Funny 10 amp. That's still going dim. You can see it ticking away, so it is working. Right, we don't have enough power for that. Oh, let's turn that off. Turn that on. Yeah, it's still going dim. Oh well, if you want to power a CB, that's an honest truth there. That's not actually powering a 10 amp. It's not actually powering that, because I know you need at least 10 amps for that on its own. Can't unplug the CB and make that work, because I need the CB to make that work, so I can't test that. But yeah, the CB runs fine. CB's absolutely running fine off that 10 amp power supply. So my next step will be, like I said, these haven't got switches on them. Ooh, but that's got an output as well. God, that was heavy. It might be able to get one of these to work. There's a sticker. This one is output 200 watts. Oh, it's only a 200 watt. It's not even a 400 watt. What's the ampage on it? 12. Can't see. Oh, 0.8 amps. 4.5. 4.5 amp. 4.5 amp. On the yellow, which is the 12 volts. 4.5 amp. 200 watts. That wouldn't even power a laptop. I've got a stack of hard drives too, but they're only like 40s and 80s. Alright, hopefully I'll get a bit more amperage out of this one. 230 watts. Another ATX. Output 12 volt, 8 amps. 8 amps. Well, there you go, people. I'm glad I didn't check these earlier. I just grabbed the ones with switches. That's only got 8 amp on 12 volts. And that one's, I can't remember now, 4.5 amp on 12. 200 watt, 230 watt. So the 400 watt, 10 amps, and still not enough power to power that. But the CB runs fine. It says you're going to buy a 10 amp power supply. It will run your CB all day long. Still got nice cold air coming out of there. So that's going to go now sit the other way around because it's upside down on the shelf. Alright, so my next step, I think I'm going to get the Dremel out, cut a hole in the top, or maybe hollow out another one of these, the one that doesn't work, bolt it on top the other way around, cut a hole in the front, fit in a couple of 12 volt sockets, and I've got a voltmeter. Should have really put the voltmeter on it to test it to make sure it's kicking out 12, but obviously you can see it's running the CB fine. So it'd be nice to get a voltmeter on here. Don't really want one on the top, although there's room. Actually no, on this one the motherboard's at the top, so I can't fit one at the top. I could probably have one on the side, but I want it to face this way. So yeah, you can add the voltmeter to it, but it's not powering the linear, but it does look nice lit up blue. Just about fits in the shelf. CB's working fine, although it's completely dead. 9:10 Friday night. Yeah, one-liner Roger. Anyone got a copy? Anyone on channel 19 tonight? Anyone on here? Yeah, go again, break. Add the volume a bit low. Someone just went Roger break or something. Right, it's working. That just runs off battery and I just charge it up on the desktop whenever I need to charge it up. Oh, I forgot to turn it down. I'm missing out what's going on the Coast Guard. Contact. Yeah, Roger break. Yeah, I'm over at Hilberton, home base, just trying out a new power supply.
Well, I can tell he's working, mate. Come back now, check your signal.
Yeah, 2468. You're turning modulate. You give me a strong signal 6 over this way.
Yeah, Roger, okay, yeah. Coming on about signal 8, mate. Perfect radio 5, so working fine. What radio are you using?
I'm just using a really old Midland 2001. It's probably as old as I am. Just the 40 channels, nothing else.
Okay, the old Blue Precision series.
Yeah, that's the one, yeah. Precision series. Cracking little radio. I love the old ones. But yeah, I've just wired up tonight a PC power supply to run the CB, as it said, 10 amps.
Yeah, yeah. Well, you say he's working. You can't beat the old radios, as they say. What antenna are you using?
Just got a 16-foot silver rod on the side of the garage, so it's not as high as it should be. What's your 20? Just so I can work out roughly how far I'm getting out.
McDonald's, mate, way in that area.
Oh, Rog, yeah, that's alright, yeah, not too far. Yeah, it should be blowing your windows out because I'm at the top of Hilberton. But like I said, the antenna's on the garage and the houses are higher than the garage, so I need to get up a bit higher.
Yeah, right, okay.
We'll try it.
Well, so, mate, you're loud and proud, as the OCB saying goes.
Yeah, well, I just wonder if there's a change there at all.
Didn't go again?
2468.
Yeah, he's shot up to a 9 there, mate.
That's right, yeah, I had an extra 10 watts I was pushing. It normally makes me go up just £1. But as long as I've got no mains buzz, that's the main thing.
Yeah, roger. Yeah, you're working 100%, mate. That P.S.U's obviously doing the trick.
Yeah, excellent. Yeah, I done all the wiring, took out all the old wires that didn't need, put a cigarette lighter adapter on the back of it, and a little blue neon in front. So yeah, there's a little blue light shining through all the gaps of it. So it looks quite good on the shelf with the radios.
Yeah, okay. Well, I was just listening and I can't hear a buzz, so yeah, the P.S.U's working fine.
Fantastic. Yeah, it's always a mains buzz I'm worried about. Right, excellent. Right, I best get back to it because I've just wired it up. I'll have a little tidy up now and put everything back on the shelf.
Okay, mate. Yeah, no worries. Okay, thanks a lot, then. We'll catch you soon.
Yeah, catch you soon. Cheers for the radio check. Thanks a lot.
You're welcome.
There you go. By McDonald's, is where I used to live. On, well, like if you look on the map, like Hilberton's here, and then you got Trowbridge here, and I used to live like here on the other side of Trowbridge. So now I live the other side of Trowbridge, on top of the hill. So I'm giving him an 8, radio 5, no mains buzz, and he's hitting me like a signal 6, radio 4. Next up, obviously the antenna, I need to get on some poles. It is on top of the garage, as I've said before. The feeder goes up there, and the aerial's on a small pole there. So the bottom of the aerial is actually level with the apex of the roof. But the our house, and next door's house is pretty much obviously higher than the garage. So I need, I don't know, 15, 18 or 20 foot scaffold pole. I don't really want to put it on the house because I'll need like, I don't know, 80 foot coax just to get to the house. But it's working, it's getting out. There we go. Live on YouTube. That live, the wire is actually going around my foot and back out the other way. So very interesting night. Radio works. There's stuff going on the Coast Guard. Not sure what. Maybe someone's sunk. Hopefully everything's alright and they've just had a fuel blockage or something and they need a tow. Hope nothing serious. Right, there we go. 73's all. We'll sign this one off. Obviously with Wow Sly, but 26 Charlie Tango 941. Yeah, Muppet and or Sly. That's how you convert your 12 volt, well, 230 volt P.S.U power supply into a 12 volt power supply to power your radios. As you saw, no mains buzz, radio 5, signal 8. On the next town down, it's only a few miles, but it works. There must be a lift tonight because I can't normally get GB3 AA from home. GB3 AA, I can't normally get that at all. Alright, 73s. YouTube's not working at the moment, so I can't upload this. So I'll upload it as soon as possible. Catch you all soon. Bye.